Alright, so in the last video we made it so that we could see our markers. Now if I click on one, it's going to give us an error saying that the function clicked marker is not a function. So we need to create that. We're going to go into app components TS and say clicked marker, and that'll take in marker, which will be of the type marker, and then an index, which will be of the type number. Now all I'm going to do here is just do a console log, but it's good to have this in case you wanted something else to happen when you click it. We already have the pop-up, which is what we want. Alright, so we'll say console log clicked marker, and then we'll just concatenate on marker, and let's say at index, and we'll just add in index. Save that. Now if I go and click on one of these, clicked marker object, okay, so we just gotta add in here marker.name. Okay, so now you can see company 3, clicked marker company 3 at index 2. Okay, so whenever I click it, it's going to go ahead and do that. Alright, now when we click on the map, not on a marker, it's going to run a function called map clicked. So let's go ahead and create that. And we're going to pass in $event and say mouse event. Alright, and then we're going to create a variable called new marker, and let's set that to an object. Now the name when it's added by a click is going to be untitled, and then we'll have the lat. Now we can actually get the latitude through the event. So if we say event.chords.lat, okay, that'll give us whatever the latitude is where we click. It's the same thing with longitude. And then for draggable, let's set that to false. Alright, and then we'll say this dot markers dot push. Okay, we're going to add to that markers array, and we want to add the new marker. Alright, let's save that. And now let's go ahead and try clicking somewhere, and you can see wherever we click, it's going to add a marker. Now if I reload, they're going to go away because we haven't persisted to local storage yet. We're going to do that in a little bit. Now we also have a drag event. Okay, if we go ahead and drag one of these and then drop it, you can see it's looking for a function called marker drag end. So let's go ahead and add that now. Alright, so this is going to take in marker and the event, which will be a mouse event. Alright, and then what we'll do is let's do console.log, and we'll pass in drag end, and then marker, and then event. Alright, and then what we're going to want to do is create a new updated marker because it's going to have a new latitude and longitude. So let's say var upped marker and set that to an object. We're going to get the name from marker.name, and then we're going to get lat from marker.lat. Now we have an issue here because we need this to be a number, and right now it's going to be a string. So I'm sorry, a float. It needs to be a float or a decimal. So what we're going to do is wrap this in a JavaScript function called parse float. Alright, and then we'll do the same thing with the longitude. Go like that, and then say draggable false. Alright, now the reason we have this error here, if we take a look at it, argument type of number is not assignable. So the reason for that is because we set marker to the type of marker, and since we wrapped it in this parse float, it's not quite validating. So what I'm going to do, you could leave this, it's not going to cause any errors, but just to get rid of that, I'm going to just change that to any. Okay, so it can be anything. Alright, now we're going to want to get the new latitude and longitude, where we place it. So let's create a variable called new lat, and we'll set that to event.chords.lat. And then we want new longitude. Get that from event.chords.lng. Alright, and then ultimately we're going to want to update it in the service when we create that. Okay, so that it persists to local storage. So let's save that. Alright, now let's see what happens if we go ahead and drag this and drop it. And now you can see it says drag end, and it's giving us the object. Okay, it's giving us the original latitude and longitude, and if we look at this object in chords, it's giving us the new latitude and longitude. Alright, so now we're handling all the events and functions. In the next video, we're going to create our form so that we can start to add markers.